If you want to laugh and have some fun, this is the podcast. This is the one. Lights, camera, action on your marker, set, go. Welcome everyone to the Suezie Show. Welcome everyone to the Suezie Show. Welcome everyone to the Suezie Show. Oh, you had to expect that one. Come on. You know I love my fart gun. You know this by now. And take that if you don't. There. And take it again. Oh, that was a wet one. We'll leave that there. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I was at a 7-Eleven earlier today, and there was this sweet little old lady. She was probably about maybe 4'10", if that. Had a little sweater over her neck. And it's hot out right now. It is like midsummer. And she bought herself a candy bar and a soda. And the only reason I realized that is because she said to the guy that she was paying for it, she said, "This is my treat for the day. I get to have a candy bar and a soda pop." And she said soda pop so cute. And I was like, oh my goodness. This is the cutest woman in the whole world right here. Look how adorable. And I pay for my gas and I go to walk outside. So she's ahead of me and she's already getting in her car. She took off in her car. She made her wheels blow smoke. Like she spun it out like a burr. She murked it. We call it murking. She murked that shit like she was a 17-year-old going to their first keg party. Yeah. I started cracking up when I saw her do that. I just put my hand in the air and I was like, yeah, go ahead. You go. Oh my God. Like the sweetest little old lady. I swear to you, she looked like she was like 91 years old. And she was getting her treat with her candy and her soda pop. And she gets out in her car. And I mean, the top of her eyeballs was just over her dashboard. And she took off like a bat out of hell. Oh man, I just about fell out. Oh my God, that was funny as shit to me. I just wanted to share that. That occurred today. That's just a little something that happened today. It's really funny how you can never look at someone and think or assume or presume, whatever word you want to use, that you could look at some little 91-year-old lady and think somebody's driving her to the store, or maybe a family member or a friend or an Uber or whatever. I don't think that she's driving herself. I don't really think of whether she's driving or not when I'm looking at her and she's, talking and telling her little story. I'm thinking how adorable she is. What a cutie with her candy and soda. And she just kind of walks out all sweet as can be and gets behind that wheel and brrr! I was like, oh shit, you go ahead, Grandma. Ain't nobody gonna stop you. You live this long. Oh yeah, you must know what you. And she spun him out like she was a stunt man in L.A. Maybe that's what she did for a living. You don't know. She could have been a stunt woman. She could be from California and lives over here now. And she's just a nice person that lived a long and is still, God bless her, still living a long life. I'm telling you, she looked like she was in her 90s for real. And just walking, no limp, no nothing. I mean, just walking upright, all looking like good and healthy. Yeah, it was nice to see that. Perky, good attitude. And then she gets in the car and just took off. I was like, man, she is living her best life. I'm living my best life, baby. And then there's the other spectrum of it, where you could see someone that, I don't know what other people would think. I'm trying to think of what the masses as a whole kind of stupidly think. That they might be, somebody with tattoos and, just looks tough somehow, or like they're a gangsta. Maybe they're dressed cool and somebody misinterprets that they're a bad guy or bad girl or something just because of how they like to. I could go on that because that's ridiculous. You should have whatever style, whatever fashion that makes you feel good and that expresses who you are. Never worry about what other people think or what other people say. The truly only thing that really does matter is what you think, because what you think is what you are. Period. If you think you're broke, I could go on that, but I'm going to do that another time. I'm going to do that one another time. But anywho, will say somebody that other people stupidly would look at and say, oh, that's a hoodlum. Whatever you imagine that you might look at instantly in your brain without admitting it to anybody else, a person that you would see and think they probably drive like a maniac. But then you get in their car and guess what? They're literally actually stopping at stop signs, turning signals on, driving nicely, calmly, with the speed limit, driving safely, no crazy bullshit. But then you get this 91-year-old sweet little lady, she will tear your doors off. You better get the hell out of her way. I'm telling you now, get out of her way if you see her. Oh, God. Oh, man. What was she driving? It was a blue 2-door car, which is useless. I don't know real name brands. I could tell you it was nice because I liked it. And I usually, things that I like when I'm with one of my nephews, they'll know what name brand car that I'm looking at. If I say, and it's not often that I'll see a car and I'll be like, ooh, that's a nice vehicle, or, oh, I like that. I might say, oh, I like that color, but to actually like a vehicle, I don't say that very often. And when I do, it's usually an expensive vehicle, like a very expensive vehicle. When I say, oh, that's cute, I like that. What is that? Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. And that's a $120,000 car. I'm like, damn it, man. I'm sick of having champagne taste on a beer budget. I need some champagne taste on a champagne budget. That's what needs to flip. I need to flip that script ASAP. How about the courteous drivers? The people that say you get to a 4-way stop sign at the same time, and the people that put their hand out and kind of wave you nicely like, go ahead, you go. Just make sure when that happens, do me a favor when you get to a 4-way stop, wherever you live, wherever you are, even if the person kind of got there a little bit before you and they put their hand out and say, oh, you go ahead. Could you just put your hand out real quick or hand up just to say, hey, thanks? Just please. Just a quick, hey, thanks for that. Yeah. And that's also a signal that, yeah, I'm going to go. You got to do a hand signal back. When somebody hand signals you to go, you got to hand signal back like you go, or you wiggle your hand like you go, or you could put your hand up like you're high five in the air and as if to say thank you, letting them know I'm going to go and thank you for that. That's just courteous. That's being courteous back to someone who's courteous for you. There are people that are too courteous. The people that when you're just driving along and there's no stop sign or anything like that, they will hit the brakes and stop their vehicle in the middle of the street where there's no stop sign so they could let someone out that's trying to turn on the road. And there's no traffic. You could have just kept going straight and they would have been able to go right behind me. There's nobody behind me, nobody in front of you. And there's people out there that will stop their vehicle where there's no stop sign just to let someone cut in front of them. And that's dangerous, and they're trying to be courteous to someone else, which I see. And they see somebody sitting there and they're trying to be courteous, but look in your rearview mirror. That's how rear end accidents happen. Even though that you would be following them a bit close, because you should follow someone far enough behind that if they do that shit, you don't hit them. I follow people. I give them enough space that if they do some dumb shit, I'm not going to hit them. I'm not up somebody's ass like, come on, hurry up, or I don't do that stuff. I give people space to do whatever they're going to do. And then there's the people in the morning that drive like they're 2 hours late. You know what I'm talking about. I don't care where you live. I know when it's time for a good portion of people to go to work, wherever you are in this world, I guarantee that there's crazy traffic. There's just crazy traffic where people are cutting each other off, not signaling. If we did like, you know, the cartoon movie Bees, it's the cartoon movie Bees where the main character, I forget his name, and his friend with the glasses are walking, and they say and there's traffic going all around them, bee traffic all around them, and they're just walking right through it. And he says, oh, there's something too perfect about here. And he's like, name one thing. And they're standing in the middle of this mayhem traffic, and it's so smoothly constructed the way they're just going. You gotta see the movie. Anyway, it's like that. There's actually a new danger on the roads in the cities. There is a new headache to look out for. And that is the pedestrians that got their faces in their phones that will walk right in front of your car. I mean right in front and still be oblivious that they almost just got hit. When I was growing up, I would constantly be yelled at by my brothers, "Look both ways," when I was going to go cross the street. If they ever saw me that I was getting ready to cross the street, and I lived, when I was little, was like this tiny little suburban little street that you could probably barely fit 2 cars, one going one way and one driving the other. And it was right down the street from a school. Hey, there was not a lot of traffic on that street, and you could see them coming. But they would still yell at me, "Look both ways." Yeah, that means look both ways before you cross the street. And I had already looked both ways, but I had to do it again to show them that I did it, and then I could cross the street. And now I'm grown, and whenever I go to cross the street, I promise you, I still can hear my brother's voices yelling at me as a little girl, telling me, "Look both ways." And now that I'm grown, and it really is stuck in my head. Whenever I go to cross the street, I always sit here, "Look both ways." But you're driving around, these people, you have the button that you could press that people use, because it really becomes like a traffic with the vehicles and the pedestrians when you're really in a congested city, suburban city type area. It becomes, okay, they have the green light, so you get a bunch of people walking across. Now we have the green light and we go. But there are people that are so oblivious. Even though there's 20 people waiting at the corner for the next walk sign to go, they will just walk right out in front of you and have no idea they almost got killed 4 times. I see it every day, and it's scary. So please, people, when you're walking around, plus for your safety, hello, how the hell are you going to know if I've been behind you for the past few minutes and I'm about to rob you? You're so oblivious to what's around you when you're so focused on your phone that I could already have my escape route, where I'm going, when I'm going to do it, where you're walking up to, know the city well enough to know where I'm going to go and when I'm going to get that. Not that I'm a thief. Because I'm not. I'm just saying, you got to pay attention. And then people complain, "Oh, somebody was following me," or this or that. Bro, well, where was your face? Were you paying attention to your surroundings at all? Were you checking for where other people were? Did you park in the good spot? Sometimes you might have to walk a little ways further, but it's a safer spot for your vehicle and for the way to walk to where you're going, to maybe a concert or something like that. You could be going all different types of venues that you're parking outside. It could be an outdoor concert. It could be a firework display. It could be anything where criminals know there's going to be a whole bunch of cars that are empty and a whole bunch of people that are walking around. So if you get pickpockets, all they got to do is brush up against you barely, and your wallet is gone. Bye. Your keys are gone. They saw which vehicle you came out of. You're not going to put your keys inside your shoe. You're going to sit your keys on your blanket somewhere because you're going to wear your shoes. You're not at the beach. That's where everybody puts their keys. They put them inside their shoe like nobody knows that's where you put your keys. I mean, I have a different spot. I have a bag, and you unzip the bag, and there's like a side zipper thing that I could put my keys in, and I like to put them there because it keeps them in the shade, because it's got the clicky thing, and I don't like that battery getting cooked in the sun, so as much shade as I could protect it. But I am not under any assumption that if somebody wanted to rob something from me when I'm chilling at the beach, that they couldn't do it. I mean, seriously. Oh, you know what's a good idea? I just thought of it. You could put your shit in a Ziploc bag, stay with me, and then get one of those buckets, right, that you make beach castle, and lay your friggin' blanket down, put some sand in the bucket, put your Ziploc bag with your money and shit like that, money and keys, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the bucket of sand, put some sand in the bucket, put your Ziploc bag in, fill it up with sand, and then boom, flip it upside down right next to where you're going to be laying. And it just looks like a little sand castle. And since it's right next to your stuff, nobody's going to kick it over. That's a good idea. Put your shit right in a Ziploc bag inside a little sand castle. Oh, you're welcome. I like that idea. That's a cool one. That's a very cool idea. Why not? As long and to think about it, that also gives you something to see, because you can't really, if you're in the water swimming, you can't look and if you have a beach umbrella, it's easier to spot where your spot is. If you're out in the water and you have a beach umbrella up, it's easier to spot your stuff. But keys and a wallet is difficult to spot if it's still in your shoe, if it's still in your cooler, if it's still in your beach bag. But if you have it in a fucking sandcastle, you can be in the water and spot your shit from your umbrella and look down right under your umbrella, right next to your blanket, and see that your sandcastle is still standing. You'll know your shit is still safe. I am a genius. You're welcome. That's what you get for following and listening to my podcast from Jump Street, because I know I'm a brand new podcast, and I look forward to when I could have some really cool, interesting, I've had cool, interesting people on so far. I look forward to having cool, interesting people that you all may know a little more, somebody who's already been in the entertainment business or in some kind of industry that you may be familiar with. And I look forward to that. But for now, I guess you're just going to have to deal with me and the random guests that are cool as shit, crazy, fun, intelligent until then. So don't spread that idea around. Keep that just for us. So like when the Suezie Show goes all viral and crazy, unless somebody goes way back to the beginning, which is pretty much now, they won't know this idea. But yeah, fuck it. Anybody who listens to the Suezie Show gets this idea, but you keep it to yourselves. It'll just be for us. It'll be for my show and my people. Hell yeah. Tell me, nah, you know what? That's greedy and fucked up, and I'm not like that. You know what? Share that idea, damn it. But don't share it too much, because then the thieves find out about it. Do you know what I'm saying? If you let too many people, that is a good idea, but if you let too many people, and it might be an old idea, but I just thought of it. It might be an old idea. It might already exist. People might have been doing that for decades for all I know. Let me know. I just thought of it. That's a good one. I like that, because you could be in the water and look over and see that sandcastle still standing. You just need one little beach bucket that you could get at the dollar store if you wanted. They got good ones at Walmart too. Cute ones. I have already a whole set. I'm a beach person through and through. Salt water is in my blood all day, every day. On that note, I will talk to you later, and I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you for listening to the Suezie Show, and I'll see you next time on the Suezie Show. See you next time on the Suezie Show. Yeah. Thanks for listening and hanging out. I'll see you next time, without a doubt. Now you know where I am and you know where to go. See you next time on the Suezie Show. See you next time on the Suezie Show.